Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me again. Stampin' Sue Creates here, aka also known as Susan Timjack, and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I am here to continue my A to Z technique book. Now, if you didn't watch my first book, my first video, I explained how I'm bringing A to Z techniques back by using my old Project Life album, making some little cards that I'm going to stick inside the album of different techniques from the alphabet A to Z. So my first one was the acrylic watercolor wash technique. You'll want to definitely go back and check that out. So I am here to share my next technique with you, and you'll see I got a little ahead of you because of course I had to try it out first. So this next one is called alcohol glimmer painting. Now, I love glitz, but I don't like glitter. Well, I like glitter, but I don't like working with it. So here is our next technique card. This is the alcohol glimmer painting. So what you want to do is squeeze a few drops of your classic or dye-based reinker to a few tablespoons of rubbing alcohol in a dish. I'm going to do mine a little different, but you can do it that way. Use a paintbrush or dry aqua painter to paint on silver glimmer paper. You can also dip your glimmer paper into the alcohol and re-inker solution. Water can be used in place of alcohol, but it'll take longer to dry, or use a heat tool. I did find using a heat tool kind of took away some of the brightness of the color, so this is definitely something you'll want to do and set aside to dry because it does take a little bit to dry, and I found that out by touching it and was not dry yet. So here's what I did. I took some of the butterflies, well, I punched them from our new butterfly punch, and unfortunately this is on back order, but you can use any punch that you want, okay? So this one is brand new in the Occasions catalog, and it punches out 2 different size butterflies, and it coordinates with a whole suite of Butterfly Gala stamp set and papers and things like that. And it's in the Occasions 2019 catalog. So for today, what I wanted to do, I wanted to try silver, and I have a regular glimmer paper. So saw this idea online by doing a little bit of a black behind it. I think it really brings it out. I mean, I really do. So what I did is use one of my old retired punches, and again, we all have punches. So what I did is just, I punched 4 little circle punches in the wings. Now this is optional. I mean, you really don't have to do this if you don't want to. Okay, so we have those there, and I punched out black ones. So while I was punching them out, I punched out some of the silver in the small ones and the black in the small ones. I'm just gonna have some fun. So put that there to hold that down. So I took one of our acrylic blocks. I put 2 little drops of Bermuda Bay reinker. I have 2 little drops of Calypso Coral. And I have 2 little drops of crushed curry. Oh, I had to stop for a moment and look. So that's what you see here on my little palette. Now I'm doing it, like I said, a little differently. I have one of our aqua painters. Inside here I put rubbing alcohol. So it's not the alcohol that you're going to take a few sips. You don't want to drink this stuff. And to do that, normally we put water in here. And you can use water, but it takes a little longer to dry. So just screw off this top, put your alcohol in there, put your top back on, and you're good to go. Now don't get shocked when you see this one. This is a well-loved aqua painter. See what I mean? But that's okay, it still works. And you might want to designate one of your aqua painters for alcohol, and I just took a permanent marker, although I did find that it kind of rubs off if you don't let it dry too long. But anyhow, has rubbing alcohol right in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the silver one, and I'm going to do the clear one too. So let's start with some of our, let me look at the colors, Bermuda Bay. So we're just going to paint this on just like that. So there's our little body. And let's do one on our regular Dazzling Diamonds paper. And I just have a little baby wipe. I'm just going to kind of clean that off a little bit. Get some of that color off. Let's go ahead with some crushed curry. And just paint some of that on there. Just like that. think I'm going to need another drop. Let's go with another drop. Now these re-inkers are what we use to re-ink our ink pads with. So once you purchase Stampin' Up! Ink pads and your color is getting a little bit lighter than you want it to be, you don't have to throw it away. All you need to do is go ahead and add some re-inkers. And I do have a video on that somewhere in one of my playlists, so you can go back and check that out. I'm going to clean this. I'm going to give it a little squeeze to bring some alcohol down to clean it. And then next we're going to use our Calypso Coral and go ahead, paint that on. Wow, that is a vibrant color on the Dazzling Diamonds Glimmer paper. I'm going to need a little more of that too. But this could be fun. I mean, you really could do a lot of different things with this. And I'm going to bring in these tweezers, and I want to thank my downline Fran, because she sent these to me before the holidays. She actually put a little Christmas gift on my door, and look how beautiful these are. Look, you just squeeze them and they open. So they're kind of different than the ones that you pluck your eyebrows with. So I'm going to use this just to hold it down, just so I don't get myself too messy. And Fran, thank you. I really, really love them. And you'll notice I do have a piece of plastic that I'm working on that I can go ahead and just wipe it right off with the baby wipe. Try to keep my workstation clean. Now look at that. Wow. Let's try it now on the silver. Whew. It does give a definite different look on the silver. Loving that. Loving that. And I could just imagine with some of our other colors, the purples and things like that, how beautiful that would be. You can make this paper any color you want. Now in the past, being a demonstrator of course, we have used our sponge daubers on our glimmer paper. The only problem with that is it kind of, because of the roughness of the glimmer paper, kind of ruins your dauber. So while you can do that, you don't get the vibrant color. The other thing that was recommended in the little instruction sheet was to have a little cup with some alcohol in it and your droppers in there, and go ahead and just dip this whole little butterfly right into that. I'm trying to use the last of this to get it to spread out a little bit. And that way you just dip your whole butterfly in there. So that would be amazing too. Now there's one just with the Bermuda Bay. Look how beautiful they are. And then what I want to do is I'll move these aside, and I could just use my wipe here to clean off my plastic sheet. And this sheet I got this at the Dollar Tree. This is one of those prepping sheets. So when you're cutting up vegetables and such, you can go ahead and use these sheets. So now these are still wet. You can see there. But here's my first one that I did, and I really love this. I'm going to pick it up with my tweezers just in case. There we go. So you can get a good look. Look at that. You can make these any color you want. Then all you got to do is we're going to go back to our instruction book. I took the technique and glued that onto there. And I put a little bit of that butterfly paper from the Celebration catalog. And to put the butterflies together, all I did was, on the black, I just took 2 of these little mini dimensionals, just like this, peel them off. That goes wherever. The cat will play with it. Whoop. You pick up my butterfly, the hardest part of the whole technique, and put that on there, and look at how beautiful that is. I even like them when they're single. You don't have to layer them. This one kind of, let me bring it up a little closer so you can see. You see the little bit of color? The silver kind of takes away a lot of the color, but the definite Dazzling Diamonds, that does a great job of, let me do this one in Calypso. How much time do I got? Oh, I got time. You guys are okay, right? You got time to hang around? I'm just like, I'm just loving this. Let me bring my little tweezers in. And like I said, you don't even have to add the little punches if you don't want to. But how beautiful would this be on cards, on if you're having like a shower, you want to make little favors. I'm squeezing some of this alcohol out as I'm working. Oh, a little too much there. But it can change the color just by adding a little bit more alcohol. You can make it lighter, darker, without too much alcohol. You want to add a little more color, you can go ahead and just add it in there. If you really want to get artistic, you could even do a little bit of shading with your colors. And let's do one more. What the hey, right? Where's my wipe? Okay. Let's try, no, we already did that. Did we do that? Okay, let's try this on the silver. And, I mean, you really can save yourself a lot. Just go ahead and buy the, just a regular glimmer paper and color it yourself. Oh, this will give good dimension to show you the difference between the Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper and the silver. How a different look it gives you. But I mean, you can do this to any of our shapes. You can even use your Big Shot and cut out some of the shapes with your Big Shot. Okay, let's move these aside. My wipe that off. My pinch strength isn't very good. I have some issues with my hands. I was just diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, so I've been taking some prednisone, and whew, any of you know that if you've been on prednisone, man, I mean, it really makes you feel like $1,000,000, but it makes you want to eat everything under the sun. Trust me. Everything under the sun, I just want to eat it. Not so good. And I believe it raises your sugar too. So anyhow, that being said, I want to go ahead and put these on my sheet. Where is my glue? Let's put one here. These will be so beautiful in my book. And let's go with a little one here. There's a little yellow one, just to give a little variety in my book. And let's see, I want which one? Let's do the blue. Okay. Whoop. Okay, and we'll put that one there with no background. There we go. And there you have it. And there is our next technique. Let me bring the page to you. Our alcohol glimmer painting. How beautiful, stunning is that? And our little card, which will then, let's see, we can kind of switch this off a little bit. We can put our little technique. Am I in the camera? No, I'm not even in the camera. Sorry. And then put my little, I'm not sure if it's dry. I guess I'll find out when I go to stick it in. I'm going to lift it up. There we go. All right. So there is number 2 of our technique book, A to Z, alcohol glimmer painting. And I hope you give this a try. And if you do, be sure to let me know how it turned out for you. I'd love to see what you've done with it. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you be sure to hit the subscribe button and come back here real soon to see what my next technique is going to be. Have a super Stampin' night, and I'll see you back here again real soon with another technique. Bye for now.